So are there people in this world you trusted or you still trust?
The problem is eventually I cooperate. And at the time I didn't want to cooperate. I didn't believe in cooperation. But after seeing how many people cooperate and the way the system is set up, I think that my understanding of loyalty is vastly more realistic now. And I think that if you're committing crime, if you're absolutely like the things I did a bunch of scumbag things, I mean, I'm not killing people, but I'm doing scumbag things. I'm lying, cheating, stealing. I'm a thief. You boil down to it, that's what I am. So you can't go around behaving like a scumbag, dealing with scumbags, and then expect those same scumbags to suddenly abide by some kind of a street code and not roll over on you. And it does happen, but it's like in the 90 percentile of people that cooperate. 90 something percent. And people cooperate when they're not even looking at any real time. So if you're looking at 30 years, and especially after going to prison, you go to prison and it's like, this guy's a stand-up guy over here. He got 30 years. He could have cooperated against all of his co-defendants, but he didn't. Nobody comes to see him. His wife divorced him. His kids ended up in foster care. His friends are cleaning out his house. Nobody puts money on his books. Nobody comes to see him. Nobody answers his phone. Nothing. He took 30 years. Most of those guys turned around. They end up getting indicted for other things years later. They cooperate. And the best thing this guy's got going for him is that he can walk around and say, well, he's a stand-up guy. That guy's going to the same halfway house as me. He's going to do 30 years where I'm going to do 10.
Stand-up guy, meaning he never snitched.
Right.
And so everybody's seeing this example and saying, well, I'm going to snitch then. But it sounds like what people are doing is they're virtue signaling, like they would never snitch and actually do secretly.
I mean, what is it? I remember I talked to one of the COs at the prison one time, and he said, I said, shit, 50% of the guys here snitched. He goes, it's more than that. He said, but listen, he goes, 100% of them are lying about it. He said, he goes, there's nobody here that's going to tell you they snitched. Nobody. So there's guys, tons of them that cooperate. If 80, 90% of defendants cooperate, you start doing the math. And if you ask 10 guys in prison, all of them say, I didn't cooperate. I didn't cooperate. Like, okay, well, you ask 100, I didn't cooperate. Like, nobody's going to say I cooperated.
Does that break your heart a little bit? That people backstab each other like this?
It does. It does, but but I have such a low opinion of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't expect, it's not that I don't like people. It's that I just don't expect anything of them. I don't expect you to look out for me. There was a time when I thought, I look out for you. You should look out for me, but I just don't expect that anymore.
See, but I think humanity flourishes because there is a lot of people out there that do the thing that is difficult to do in terms of integrity.
That may be, but these aren't people with integrity. These are criminals. If these were decent human beings, and all of them will tell you, well, why'd you do that? Oh, I was a drug addict, or I needed the money. Well, if you were a decent human being, you would have gotten off the drugs. You would have gone and gotten 3 jobs. You can work 80 hours a week. I've done it. You can work 84, 85, 80. You can work 90 hours a week. You can do that. Oh, I did it for my kids. No, you're lazy. You could have worked 3 jobs for your kids. Instead, you decided to sell methamphetamine. Well, I was addicted. You could have gotten off. It wasn't important. It was the easy way out. You're not someone with integrity. So for you to sit there and say, hey, I'm going to act like a scumbag, but now I got caught or you got caught and I don't want you to tell on me. Well, you're a guy that robs banks. You stick guns in people's faces. You kidnap people. You torture people. You sell drugs. You're not a moral, ethical person, but you want everybody else to hold up to some ethical code while you're robbing grandma. Like, that's not right. Like, so I get the whole Omerta code, and there was a time when I was, delusional enough to believe that. But, you know, after you're going through it, no. And after going through it multiple times, no.